We love the forest, where forest monks get to have incredible challenges and adventures, and the place that our family calls home. As you probably know, there's a new member of our family, and sometimes we like to take our adventures to new places. Lake Superior is one of our favorites. Here, we can roam the shores and look out over an inland sea that seems to stretch on and on forever. This is a place where children and puppies can just be themselves. They can engage in play and freedom. Run in the sand, chase each other, with really no worries in the world. But as we all know, as we grow older, whether we're dogs or humans, people begin to expect things of us. Our training begins. In our world, much of this training we're not even aware of, and we can become products of that cultural training without our consent. Yet, we all have the power to become aware of that training process, to take the helm. As we do our training with djembe, we also have had thoughts about the forest monks in the woods and their training. We realize that with dogs and with humans, there's a progression that happens. Sometimes we can forget this. We can expect ourselves to just get something right away. We see this especially with mental challenges and mental growth. We seem to understand that if we decide we're going to train for a marathon, well, it's going to take months and months of training. But often it's more difficult for us to realize that if we want to be able to meditate for a continued period of time, that can take a long time too. Learning to not expect ourselves to be Olympic level on the first day, well, if you have any kind of self-perfectionist tendencies, this can be a little difficult. But it's an important thing to realize. Baby steps are all right. On our rewilding journey, our spiritual journey, our journey towards higher fitness and mental health, whatever our exploration is, we can learn to be patient with ourselves, to take our time, to honor the progress we've made. Then, our progress often goes much faster than when we're trying to rush things and when we're expecting the world of ourselves. My wife Rebecca, who always seems to have wonderful sayings, she'll say when someone's trying to learn a new skill, give it 10 years. Sometimes this can free us up. We're trying to learn a new kick or block, or trying to learn how to make a fire with a hand drill, and it just won't come. We can start getting so frustrated. But when we step back and say, hey, I'm going to give myself 10 years to get this, then we free ourselves up to learn. Whatever it is that you're learning right now and you're exploring, there might be some value in this. Giving yourself time, allowing those progressions. Don't expect the world of yourself today. And try to avoid that self-punishment that can so often come with trying to do a good job. We can take our time in learning. We can take our time in growing. And then, paradoxically, we'll often grow faster than we think. Now, if you've come here for the tracking challenge, I think you're going to have some fun. The beaches are, of course, filled with tracks. Tracks come and go with the washing of the waves. Even the waves leave their own tracks if one looks carefully. Paintings of mountains on the shore. Now, some of the tracks are easy enough to identify. We're of course fascinated with Djembe's prints and the girls and her whole family leaving barefoot tracks everywhere. But the beach is filled with all sorts of other strange tracks, and some are more difficult to identify. The challenge is what makes these perfect circles, these perfect arcs. Wherever we went that day, we saw them, written in the sand. Wasn't there an old song, Circles in the Sand? Well, these are awfully perfect circles. What's happened here? UFOs? Fairies in the night? There are also other tracking lessons, like not to just look at one single print and make a judgment about who left it. This might look like a cat print. It's fairly round. There's no registering claws. Now, you might notice, if you're well versed in tracking, that there's only one anterior lobe in that plantar pad. But still, you could mistake it for a cat track even though Djembe just left it a few seconds before we filmed this. My friends, thank you for being a part of our channel. Rebecca and I, my whole family, we're so grateful. The communications we get to have with you, the emails we receive, the comments, it's always a reminder that all around us there's wonder in this world. Love to you all.